it's doing it. Now we are live.
Are we?
We are.
Oh my
Yeah, it's
god.
hot in here though.
People are probably like, these guys know what time it is?
Yeah, I know. No, we don't know.
We know it's Wednesday. That's what time it is.
It's whatever time it takes to get this right. That's what I say. And guess what? Ready, Set, Chill, new song by Harris Heller in the opening right now.
Thanks, Harris.
For you guys. Thank you, Harris, because we liked the other one, but you know what? That build-up was just... wasn't working.
It's lengthy.
Yeah, now we've got direct power. Great. Shows you how out of date my new iPad is. When I just went to go load the new YouTube Studio, it just kicked off a new app install. Hey, thank you for that. So I have no chat yet. You know what's even worse? Forgot the title. Oh, no, I know what it is. Yeah, okay, wait. There we go. I don't know, man. This new version of iOS on the iPad, iOS 15, has got in the beta has got bugs.
Bugs?
Oh, dude, it's like bugging, like badly. It is bugging.
I almost want to frame it.
Which one?
Black and white one we're gonna show off?
Oh yeah, it's pretty cool. That is neat. All right, I'm gonna call a good old 10 seconds
how much
there.
is
How's
left
that?
of the audio?
Not much.
Huh?
It's short. I think it's only like 2 minutes and 10 seconds. So there's that.
Maybe we can have a fade out so it'll just cut it.
You know, unfortunately it doesn't.
Nah.
Nope, doesn't exist. All right, we're going 5, 4,
Before it drops again.
3, 2. Hey. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Not Your Average Show. Mike Corey here. It is August 11, 2021. It is a Wednesday. How are you?
1500 on a Wednesday. Good.
Did you really just go? Did you just go military time on me?
Well, it's
Okay, he went Zulu time on me. Okay, I guess he did. There, he did. Yeah. So sorry we're late, but you know we gotta put things together here. Corey's got to reach the studio. We got things that we're working on. But what we do have to talk to you about today is Rise of Starship. Obviously, Starship has been stacked in Boca Chica. We're waiting that one to see when it's going to actually go off.
oh man.
We got Windows 11 is going into the cloud, and also the Steamdeck, which you know if you've been paying attention to the channel, we've got one on order. So we're going to be talking about that. Corey's going to talk about sucking carbon and where the money's going to be on that one because it's some interesting stuff. And then Xiaomi is stealing some pet ideas from the realm of Boston Dynamics, and they've stolen a design of basically Spot. So that is something to talk about.
Spot the robot.
Spot the robot has been cloned.
Good one.
I should have used that one in the title. Anyhow, we didn't. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm good. I was just thinking. Do cloned robots dream of electric sheep?
All right, we've gone way too nerd. We have gone nerd 5.0. Wait, what do cloned robots dream?
The quote is, "Do robots dream of electric?"
Okay.
But I put the so robots don't get cloned; they get stolen. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Forget it. It's fine.
Gone, lost. I'm lost on it.
It's fine.
If you guys don't get it,
Pretty sure it's a quote from Blade Runner.
oh, okay. So you just had to say Blade Runner, do robots dream. Then I would have been like, and then they dream of sheep. Oh, okay, got it now. I wonder what the robot dog dreams of. I know, it's weird though. If you ever caught your dog napping when he's having a dream and he gets the old legs going and he's twitching and stuff, and you're like, do I do that in my dreams?
General Rendar says,
okay. No good on the joke. Hey, thanks, General Render. We're trying to figure out who you are, by the way. We're both curious. I'm curious, General Render. But anyhow, it's all good. All right, what do we got going on today? You got anything else to share? How are you doing? Everything's good?
I'm good. Yeah, nothing.
All right.
It's good.
So
We're good.
with that,
Oh, you're right, General. That's right.
what?
It's do androids dream of electric sheep? It sounded a little bit wrong when I was saying it, but I was like, but yeah, there you go. Yeah, good catch.
Good catch. All right, now that makes more sense to me because it wasn't registering, and it's not because I didn't. Obviously, I watched Blade Runner. Good movie, great series. Harrison Ford continues to. That's one thing about Harrison Ford. It really doesn't make a difference how old this man gets.
Yeah.
he really, really, really does a great job with his character progressions. I'm a flight instructor. They ferry pilot
cool.
right now.
Nice.
Pops. Oh, cool. Hey, man,
Sweet.
that's really cool.
Yeah, cool.
Thanks. Awesome.
Good times.
Good to see you here.
Excellent.
All right. With that said, we got a black and white picture that touched our hearts in a way that Corey's going to talk about here really quickly.
Of course.
And it's basically taking you to a conversation about Starship. Go ahead.
Yeah. So this one about the fully stacked SpaceX Boca Chica. So he'll bring up some pictures of it and make them bigger so you guys can see. Obviously, the links are down below. But just back on the 6th, Heavy Booster 4 arrived to the site and they began moving stuff around. And then it says about 8 o'clock a.m. on Central Time, they got SpaceX stacked the Starship 20 on top of Booster 4, and that made it was a fitting test, and basically that made it the largest and rather tallest stacked assembled rocket ever. It brought it in at 394 feet, and if you guys keep a track, Saturn V, the previous record holder, was 363. So beat it by 30 or so feet, and it's pretty big. The picture that he was talking about, the black and white picture,
is on screen.
This one on screen.
Yeah, it is.
And it's a little bit reminiscent of the old like the iron workers working on the buildings back in New York a long time ago. There's a quite famous picture of that, and it really reminds me of that picture. And I kind of like how it's black and white to kind of, I don't know, get a little more of an industrial feel. And
for sure,
I could hope decades to come that even if Starship doesn't work out, hopefully this will have advanced space travel for me, at least, and I can look back and say, hey, this was a pretty cool moment for Starship. But anyway, there you go. A quick update on that too. We're still tracking, obviously, when this thing hopefully will launch. If you guys are not aware, the fully stacked Starship is supposed to do a unmanned launch from Boca Chica, Texas, and then go up into orbit, do one turn around the Earth, or not a full turn, but a turn around the Earth, then come the Starship part, come back down off the coast of Hawaii. And
cool.
the main booster is supposed to come back to Boca Chica, and
I think so. I think we're still in the conversation if this is going to splash in the ocean, because I think we remember that
the Starship is.
Yeah, the Starship is supposed to splash in the ocean. What I understand is that they don't have things ready to land them yet.
Yeah.
So that was one of the things that I think has been in constant how's that going to look? Right?
Yeah, we know that Starship's landed, but I mean, it'll probably just do a soft landing on the down and basically just. I guess they'll probably have a barge over there to reclaim it, obviously, and all that. But anyway, they're still waiting on the environmental impact test or study from the FAA, which has been ongoing. We know that SpaceX, or rather Elon, is not always happy with the speed at which FAA moves, but he's already been warned that if he launched this one without permission, of course, that would be a big problem. So
because he's gonna go orbit it. I mean, that's
of course. But I mean, anyway, so yeah, they're waiting to see that. But I guess they're still not waiting, right? You can see the Starship's got a whole bunch of those the thermal tiles on it. It's just looking really cool. So.
It is a gorgeous looking piece of machinery. That is for certain, and especially some more pictures here as they stacked it. General Rendar also pointed out that it's the second most powerful ever built, behind the Soviet N1, I think. And you might be correct, because look, it's gonna take a lot of energy to get this thing into space at speed. Because again, if you follow anything that goes into space, it's velocity that gets you, not actual thrust. The thrust is just a component of building up enough velocity to escape the Earth's atmosphere and the gravitational pull of the planet Earth. So this thing's got to have some massive amount of thrust to it, and it looks like it's going to fit the bill. Now, obviously, landing that first stage in a dainty fashion is going to be a challenge. They've had that other issues with it landing before. They've only had one or two successful landings. Starship.
One fully.
Starship landing, and then the first stage is just supposed to go.
Oh, the first stage, the big booster is also supposed to come down.
Oh boy,
that's what the grid fins are for.
Oh yeah, so this should be cool.
Yeah, it's supposed to be also all reusable, which is really cool. But we're still waiting on the timeline, of course, to see.
All right, and General also chimed in again. He said he believes it's an ocean landing increases the booster on SN20 go the way of in case they go the way of Challenger and Columbia. Well, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Hey, we're excited for it. We want to see it, obviously, for space exploration. what we would really appreciate is that if they moved part of that program here off the coast of obviously Space Coast, but Boca Chica, you know, that's he's really chosen that to be the home of this project, but hopefully in the not too
For the
distant
moment, yeah.
future. For the moment.
Yeah.
So we anticipate that at some point we're going to see some type of launch over in this area as well. And we're still
They had
also,
said that.
huh?
They had said they
Yeah.
some Starship stuff going on over, but I mean,
Well, we know that they were
kinda all wait
building
and
them
see.
here. So we literally flew over them in their early building cycles that they had. They have a facility in Merritt Island where they're actually building them, and we actually flew over it by accident.
Just happenstance. We were flying
Happenstance,
around that
yeah.
day in a Seminole, just keeping current, and we're like, oh, that's what that place is.
That's
Wait. Can you do an orbit? I need to.
I
Oh,
took
okay.
pictures. Yeah,
Sure, I'll just look around. Yep, we're clear. Not on. We're just VFR, so it's all good.
there you go.
So.
All right, folks. Well, we'll try to keep you up to date, and obviously, there's lots of channels out there on YouTube that do cover the Starship and what its activity is going to be. So I'm sure there's going to be a massive amount of coverage. We'll be watching eagerly and hopefully get some commentary on it ourselves. And again, like, subscribe, follow, and we'll bring you the best of space information that we can as part of our continuing discussion here on the channel of space, cars, tech, everything else that we can possibly think of that we like to talk about, and hopefully you guys like to talk about it too. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll move on to the next subject, I guess.
Yeah, have at it. Yeah. So
actually, wait, General Render had another comment in here.
Yeah.
They're testing how accurate they can get them as well, and if they can go where they're supposed to, they may attempt a drone.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Well, that's why they bought the 2 oil platforms. I forget, one of our viewers told us, hey, by the way, SpaceX had bought 2 oil platforms.
Yeah, we were on site for a Starlink launch, I believe.
Yeah.
And one of the viewers said, hey, did you see how they bought some oil platforms? And we did. We look into that, of course, and yeah, they did buy some platforms to repurpose for that kind of stuff.
Kind of stuff. Cool. Well, I mean, and this is going to change, hopefully, the way that Elon views this program. Is it's going to change the way people travel across the surface of the Earth at speed and in the atmosphere. And that's why he's always been on the reusability kick, is that this is basically out there to challenge basic contemporary air travel. So in the not too distant future, we hope. Cool. We shall see. Okay, onward and forward.
Yep.
All right. So to lay the ground for this next conversation, if you guys know and you've been paying attention, we, meaning the channel, do have first rights to a delivery date 512 gigabyte Steamdeck. Yes, we do. It's coming. We had the order in within the first 19 minutes of the order window. We're not second quarter. We're not anything. We are day one delivery guaranteed of one of those devices. So that's number one. So it keeps piquing my interest to see the people that have gotten their hands on them. Linus had about an hour and a half with the device. Linus Tech Tips, if you guys don't know, from YouTube. He did a great expose on it, did some testing with it, had it out literally doing brightness tests on the screen, actually doing, millisecond and stuff like that. But the other big conversation is Windows 11.
Yep.
On the forefront of it, there's a lot of programs out there that will and will not run currently in the stream profile as they want to on the Stream Deck, right? And that's just something else. But there's a caveat. Windows 11 also, the Microsoft Corporation, has looked at what their compatibility is with the current marketplace of tablets and other devices out there and how cloud computing has changed since the pandemic, and decided that they too will also release Windows 11 in a compatibility mode for the cloud for all ARM processor devices that are outside of their service lineup, which means basically you and I from home on any device will soon be able to access Windows 11 from anywhere, but it goes further than that. Also, with that said, Valve is making sure to ensure that even with the limited processor support that currently Windows actually has, they're making sure that they're going to get their AMD processor to work and make it Windows 11 ready, thus increasing the library outside of what the current stream content is that you can Steam content that you could possibly use, which is amazing. Okay, so there's a lot of information packed into this, because we can perfectly start a conversation right now about Windows 11 is not compatible with everything that's out there, and basically if your system is greater than 2 years old, there's a likelihood that it will not run Windows 11. But the fact that Microsoft is kind of preempting this and saying, hey, these are the devices we're targeting, but we've pretty much said that cloud computing is going to cover the gambit, that might be a game changer for Windows 11 as an operating system. So what's your thoughts on that one, Corey?
Yeah, I mean, I'm also kind of keeping track of Windows 11. Interested. I've been interested in trying to build another PC, a new PC for a while. Yeah. What's kind of holding me back, honestly, is the video card shortage. we game on the side when we're not doing other stuff, and that's why we're partially interested in Steam Deck to begin with. But again, being into tech too, obviously want to look at it. And my old machine is my CPU, to be specific, is incompatible with Windows 11. There's actually, and there's some tools actually. I might be, if you guys are interested in that, I can find those and add them down below in the description. But there's some tools you can look and see what's compatible with Windows 11 and see if you're going to be able to do that or not. And mine is not my current machine. So yeah, I am interested in getting a new machine. But as far as Windows 11 goes, this is pretty interesting.
Oh yeah.
I don't have a subscription to Win365 for
Mhm.
all their online, Excel and all their other productivity suite.
Yep.
But this will be something to keep track of if the shortage of parts, well, the prices I want to pay for the parts,
Right.
persists for a while, and I decide to take a look at Win 11 via the cloud, which my internet speed is perfectly fine. So this might be a solution for myself or anybody else out there that has access to decent good speeds. And wants to check out some of Windows 365 products, but also Win 11,
Mhm.
but doesn't want to look at maybe getting a new PC
Yeah, and
for the
so
moment.
so a couple other things to add. When I picked up the 12.9-inch new MacBook Pro with the M1 processor, my hopes is that Apple would bring in-house support for their stronger OS content, which they haven't. However, now people are saying that with this Office 365 version of Windows 11 that's going to run in the cloud, the M1 processor is going to be supported, and it will be taking full advantage of
Yep.
its built-in speed. On the other conversation with the Steam Deck, what they're basically saying is that there was a compatibility issue with games like Apex Legends, Destiny 2, PUBG, Fortnite, and Gears 5 that will not work currently within the profile that they're programming in as the overlay for the Steam Deck. And the reason why is because they are working with BattleEye and their easy cheat code to get support for Proton, which is one of their kind of shells for Linux right now, which
Anti-cheat
doesn't
stuff. Yeah.
yeah, which doesn't support it. So they really wanted to make sure that this is going to be able to run everything that people want to. So they're going to make sure that you're going to be able to install Windows 11 on it, and they're working on the compatibility. Big boon for Windows 11, though. I think that's huge news if you're a Windows
Yes.
fan.
Yeah.
That's
Accessibility.
accessibility is a massive improvement because it sounds like Microsoft has understood that they've lost out in some aspects. Their hardware game needed a lot of support to get people into the Surface environment, and now people are comfortable, comparing Surface to say a MacBook or something in that nature. But in the operating system, let's face it, Windows 10, well, very customizable, user friendly, sometimes not so much. So, my thoughts at least. And
Yeah.
I mean, we run this
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
Well, go ahead, because I was just going to say we run the show in a Mac OS environment, right? So pretty much all the show takes place, and a lot of people say this would work better in Intel, but for production purposes, Mac OS just does the trick.
I mean, there is a decent amount of issues with OBS on Mac versus OBS on an Intel machine, and that's just one program that we use OBS to go. But as far as the productivity, between us sharing things, and getting stuff up, what we use to work with Mac. But anyway, point being, I guess that Win 10 it was a big improvement over previous versions of Windows.
Yes.
So that's always nice, and I am running Win 10 on my current machine, not this machine, of course. And I'm interested to see what Windows 11 can do, especially through the cloud.
So I just came up with an idea. Windows 11 running on the iPad Pro with OBS obviously it's going to have to be dongled through a Type-C connection, but we might be able to do live streaming remotely using the iPad still, using that. Although, I know it might be really difficult. The latency issues might be
a whole
terrible.
lot of tunneling there.
Oh, yeah. I get it.
We're using a cloud OS, throwing a program in the cloud, stream something
back out into the cloud. Yeah, I get it.
We're looking at you, Starlink. Send us a Starlink and we'll try all this craziness.
Again, it will make it all work. It's been really funny because actually the rocket business right about now has been a little slow, so we're waiting to cover another rocket launch ASAP. So once one goes up, we'll hopefully be ready and prepared to bring that to you.
Yeah, all Boeing's problems. That's a whole
other conversation.
But Boeing's have some issues with their Starliner, but
there you go.
Anyway.
Hey, Windows 11, tell us what you think in the comments below. If you think it's a bad deal for Microsoft to go ahead and make it so limited in what processors can run it, and if you're excited to be possibly one of the users that might benefit from using it in the cloud, and if there's a device that you think currently that you really like your best travel computing device. Mine has obviously become the 12.9 iPad Pro. But if there's one out there that you think would be awesome and part of that structure to use the 365 cloud computing, let us know. That'd be awesome. And like, subscribe, follow.
Good, yeah.
Could be very cool. We'll see. Okie doke. Now I'm gonna gotta preface this. Corey found what I'm gonna say is probably what we've been talking about recently, and he mentioned at the end of the last show about them taking carbon and basically making it into fuel, right? And so I'm gonna just give the floor to Corey because this one has got huge implications for investment possibilities and just the future of tech in general as carbon makes its big suck. Yeah. I just wanted to see your...
Okay, anyway, so yeah, this one comes well, this particular article, kick it off, comes from CNBC. It just says these companies are sucking carbon out of the atmosphere. And investors are piling in. So I wanted to bring this up because we wanted to trying to get a little more flavor in stock and too, but besides that, this could be quite big. And so trying to kind of look through it. This article in particular talks about a company that's over in Zurich called Climeworks, spelled CLIME Works. Climeworks. And basically they're looking at using some kind of a direct air capture technology to essentially pull carbon dioxide out of the air. And then they have some other things to transfer that to types of fuel for various types of fuel, including Jet A. And this is not particularly a new company. I wanted to also mention a company called Carbon Engineering. Carbon Engineering also has been around for a little bit of time. Originally, I think founded in 2009, if I'm not mistaken. Let me make sure. Yeah, 2009 they founded it. They've got a whole timeline out to do same kind of similar things to doing basically capture air in their plants, their factories they're going to have, and it through some chemical chemistry they can extract that CO2 out of that air, and then like I said, other types of fuels we can burn in various vehicles. They've already done some of this and demonstrated it. So basically 2015 they talked about the actual process of doing the air capture and pulling some CO2 out. 2017 they showed how they could use that process and then to make fuel out of those. And they've got a whole timeline here. 2022 they're planning their first large-scale commercial plant. 2030 extensive plant rollouts across various places, and then 2050 pretty far away.
It's a long one
for a new tech, but anyway, they talk about widespread global ops for that kind of thing too. Some big names, some big players are already backing some of these companies. The Bill Gates is already behind the carbon engineering firm, an idea there. So it's
Coca-Cola.
What's that?
So it was Coca-Cola.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, they said Climeworks to sell off some captured carbon to Coca-Cola, even Bubbles.
Exxon and Chevron. Those are big oil companies, of course, if you guys don't know that too. So big companies are seeing the potential that this could obviously reduce carbon in the atmosphere and help offset all those problems, but also make fuel. Literally, like do that process and make fuel that you can burn in various vehicles. So it could be a win-win.
I just had a future me thought.
So this is not particularly new companies. We had talked on the channel before. Wow, it's been a while, man.
It was.
We talked about I talked about an article that I found about a process.
Which one was it?
It was I think that one was a process to be flying a jet, capture the exhaust somehow.
Yes.
In the flight, during flight.
Yes.
And make fuel out of that. Not on board, but...
And also an algae one that was out there. That was also going to be another algae.
But anyways, there's some other interesting things there. But this one, I thought these companies have been around a little while. They have proven that this process does actually work. So I wanted to bring it up on the show and let you guys know about it.
So yeah, you bring up an interesting one for carbon capture for jets, and that is, can you imagine that one day there's going to be an aircraft that's just going to chew carbon or carbon dioxide right out of the atmosphere and literally pump it right back in the engines, right? And I know you talked about one of those as well. General Render said, is CO2 the issue, or CO, or any other contaminants for pollution? All right. So as everyone may or may not know, there's a breakup of the atmosphere, right? Which is like 71% nitrogen. What's it like?
Oh, the atmosphere composition?
Yeah. So
Mostly nitrogen. But
it's mostly nitrogen. There's some oxygen, obviously. There's some carbon dioxide. Then there's trace gases, right? And if I want to make, if I'm gonna go out on
78 nitrogen, 21 oxygen,
21 oxygen,
0.9 argon, and
others, right? So that 0.9 is where all these other gases live, right? And the difference being is, yes, a combination of CO2 or CO are considered some of the more contaminated or pollutants. However, they make up a very small percentage of the atmosphere, yet they're very, very, very influential in how they actually interact with the atmosphere, right? So anytime we can get some of this recaptured or reused or burned off and not have to burn the natural resources that we currently have in order to do it, that's great, because we're just taking stuff that we've already used and reusing it, which is fantastic. So I don't know which one, if it's going to be CO2 or CO, but hey, at least somebody's giving it a shot there. Did you find out the one, was it about the planes?
I think this might have been it. This is an article I found. Looks like it might have been January, but it's
direct capture, carbon capture technology.
The team at Oxford that is looking to do CO2 extracted from air and emitted again when you fly overall. I'll have to look at that. That one,
okay.
I'll have to look up. That was another video we did about
oh no, it was
CO2 capture from jets and just converting it right back into.
I think it could have been this one. Was it the Wired one, which was the could carbon dioxide be turned into jet fuel? And I think that there was one that you were looking at, and it was carbon. I know you talked about it, so I remember we discussed it.
But either way, that was something that we spoke about on the show that wasn't in practice yet. They had done some tests and it seemed to be working, but it wasn't something that was like in a factory they were implementing wide scale, like these two companies here in particular, the ones we're talking about now. So that's particularly why I want to bring these up here. The Carbon Engineering and Climb Works.
Cool.
So lots of big backers there. Lots of investment already going on. So if you guys are interested, yeah, take a look at that stuff. We'll keep an eye on this as well as these plans do or do not get more traction. So yeah.
Cool. We'll take a look at it. And hey, if you guys have any tips out there or anything else that's related to carbon capture or some of the things or the applications that you might know that better suited for this technology or better investment things that fall into this category, let us know in the comments below, because we want to hear about it from you guys, obviously. And traditionally, like and subscribe. So we do have one issue with like, subscribe that we should have brought up at the beginning of the show. We hit 300 subscribers.
Oh yes, thank you.
So totally forgot to mention that. We did hit 300 subscribers, which is great. That's fantastic. We couldn't be happier, right? But in all sincerity, if we look at the number of views that we get, that people that may or may not enjoy the show or not, and how many subscribers we get right now, we're only nabbing a percentage of that, which means that literally over 70% of the people that actually watch the show, and we do know you watch, and for how long, by the way, you're not subscribing. And the only issue that we need is for you guys, that if you like some of the content, you want to continually see more of it come from us, because we like delivering it. And if you want to be more influential in where the show goes, we'd love for you to speak up, because obviously we don't have a problem with anything people say in the comments. It's really an open show for discussion. Let us know, but hey, help us out and just reach over and hit that subscribe and the bell, because in all likelihood, you know, while we do this as a hobby, if we get a little bit more support, we could bring you a lot more interesting content. And that would be fantastic for both us and for you guys, the viewers. So please, if you got a chance, just hit that subscribe button. It would be great. All right, a couple more comments in there from General. What else did he say here?
Let's take well, he doesn't think a Starship could transfer people Earth to Earth. I know they've talked. It's going to be definitely cargo first. That's certainly
right.
I would agree with you on that. I know they have also talked about people-to-people transport, suborbital people-to-people transport. How quickly it could work, and of course, there's a lot of hurdles to go to work out before you'll be on a Starship from MCO, Florida, off the coast of Florida, to Japan in an hour or whatever it would take. But I know they had mentioned that was something they yeah, so.
All right, cool.
Oh, Boeing stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, Boeing. Well, true.
Yeah,
it's so weird.
Issues.
Yeah. You don't want to be negative against Boeing, right? But SpaceX seems to have right now a much better track record. They're not breaking equipment nearly as often as what Boeing is. But then again, when you've seen a successful launch platform, because look, you have to look at right now, the running total of SpaceX has been going successfully now for almost 5 years from their initial launches to where they are now. And they're putting them into space so often with reusable equipment that they pretty much know their processes, which is great for them. Which, comparing it to Boeing when they're launching another new system that's kind of competing, it's difficult for them, I know, because let's face it, they've got some catching up to do. That's all. Difficult, but again, good to see the traction that there's going to be other competitors, but unfortunately, Boeing still has some work cut out for them.
Yeah,
So.
the quick update on the Starliner too. So they had scrubbed the flight a few times. One of the times, the most previous time, was for some valves that would not function as they needed to prior to launch, and I believe those valves were related to the maneuvering thrusters on the capsule. There was like 13 of them or 12 that didn't function right, and they had. Last I had read, they had got like 7 or 8 of them functioning again the way they wanted, but they still that doesn't make it okay.
No, it sounds like a manufacturing problem.
Yeah.
On those valves.
So, but anyway, the long story short there is, if they can't get it launched by probably the end of August, they might have to wait a bit longer because there's some other projects supposed to launch on Atlas V's that are already planned for that. So they might have to wait. And then of course that puts me more back.
Oh, so General Render came back and said passengers will experience 3Gs. Yes.
Yeah.
Please, more.
Oh, yeah.
I'm down for it. So there is a case for the fact that there's some people out there that would definitely still go for that ride. And it's $2 million per launch. Half of the population is disqualified for health reasons. Get healthier, people. Sorry, I just have to say that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't believe that there's a demand to support any routes. I'll tell you right now, if you said that I had a choice between getting on a plane in, say, Florida and flying to Japan or Australia and spending 2 hours in the aircraft rather than 17 to 19 to 21 hours flying time, you take my money, because that's an easy one. I'd rather have the time. And I think you might find out that time will be money in those markets if they serve the proper distance with the proper offset of amount, because I think the overall usability, when it comes down below 2 million, when he's using the same parts over and over again, makes a huge impact in that marketplace. Yes?
Yeah, it's true. And as you're just talking about that, I'm also reminding myself, I thought I ran across an article that talked about how the military was interested in dropping troops worldwide using Starship. And there are some articles about that. They're a bit older. And it wouldn't take too much to think that they probably would be interested in that. They would at least look at feasibility studies and cost effective that. But
there you
go. It's might be another case of obviously military using it first, and then however many years later, possibly a use case for civilians come along.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree that it seems probably like overkill in terms of cost. And like you said, who could actually go on this rocket? I mean, like you said, if you wanted to go, all the way around the world,
right,
or at least halfway around the world on a Starship, you would have okay, you could buy a ticket, but also, hey, do you have any of these health problems? Oh, can you submit? We need to do a health study. Can you can you actually survive 3.5 Gs on a launch? So I mean, it's. Yeah, there's definitely some details there.
Well, here's the other
totally
thing.
Right, General. So yeah.
Sure. But here's the best part: is you would become an instant pastronaut as well.
So
you would get a free T-shirt from. We'll send you a free pastronaut T-shirt if you took the ride. So there's that one. You have to travel.
Yeah,
out to the
they would be
launch
offshore. You're right. They would be offshore platforms. They talk about that.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I'll take that 20K ride. That's cool, man.
Down, whatever.
I've flown helicopters out to platforms much further than that, out into the middle of the Gulf of Mexico, so in a Bell 407. So I'm familiar with those types of rides. That's not a big deal. All right, we got to move on to the last comment here, just so we can get this wrapped up. And I'm going to use the line, do you love me, right? Because I have to ask, now that I can dance, because Xiaomi has joined the pack of CyberDog robot manufacturers at $1,500, basically stealing what I'm going to call the Spot design from Boston Dynamics, which costs well over $75,000. However, this seems to be more aimed after the hobby market, but it does have a load of onboard sensors as well. And look, it's all fair that the robotic market can obviously grow to whatever potential that it's supposed to be. However, when you're stealing the design almost directly from the back of a competitor, which is known by some Chinese companies to be done, you have to take it with a small grain of salt. There's some pictures here of Spot, but I think, or not Spot, of CyberDog.
CyberDog.
It's CyberDog, not Spot, but it looks just like, I mean, literally, you could.
Quite similar.
Yeah, you could paint this thing yellow, but it's much smaller.
It is, yeah.
Okay.
There's a video down there. Do you want to play the video?
Yeah, I'm gonna play a quick shot of the video here because there's really not much else other than the video. But it looks like the dog is fairly capable. It looks like he's got the capabilities to do the things that you would want him to do. We'll just check him out here in a minute here. Whoop, what happened? Did we get that? There we go. Here we go. CyberDog making his debut here on the channel.
Dancing. Because, you know, that's what they do.
What the heck? It won't, you know what it won't do? It won't let me go into full screen mode. What do you know? There we go.
Can you zoom the browser window?
Yeah, let's see. They're doing a weird thing. Oh, I know why. I'm not doing that. That was a some funky music.
That's my jam right there.
That's jammable.
I mean, you know, not really, but why not?
He looks pretty hot. I mean, he's doing the deed, right? He's got the dance moves down. And again, this is not a promotional video. This was just the video that they released of CyberDog. Now, I will say that where we've seen the Boston Dynamics version obviously is probably almost 4 times the size of this one. This guy's a little smaller, so it's the $1,500 price tag. Sure. Would I love to have it as a toy? Yeah, because it beats the Sony dog. You know, Sony was the last robotic dog manufacturer for the home.
Right.
So, and it looks like it can do all the moves. Right?
Yeah, I mean, it's again a little bit what the use case is, right?
Right.
Because we know Boston Dynamics is using multiple robots that they work on, including Spot, for many different applications, civilian and research, but also survey, and they even there's talks of having a Spot outfitted to help explore Mars at one point. So.
Now, apparently, this one is also equipped with the ability to recognize faces, follow you, and listen to vocal commands. And basically, he'll do all that little stuff for you, including the obvious advertised backflips, which is neat. However, now here's my biggest beef. Did these guys literally wait for Boston Dynamics to come out and prove that the platform was viable and look and reverse engineer one of these things? Or is this probably their own in-house design doing the best that they can? I don't know. Is it worth $1,550? I don't know. I think I'd like to explore with one. That'd be kind of cool. No?
Yeah. I mean, certainly cool to check out. I mean, wonder how long the battery would last and range. I mean, it's even Spot can be partially automated, but also really with with an interface. So, I wonder what you can really get away with this thing here. I mean, Spot even knows when he can like go back to his charging point and like lay down and charge it by himself. Right. I don't know if this thing does anything like that. So, but it does say right on the website that it's for quote enthusiasts, robot enthusiasts, or robotic enthusiasts, excuse me. So it doesn't appear that they themselves are even marketing it towards public service like fire, going into places they wouldn't.
No.
That kind of thing. So.
It's starting. They're just starting with they're starting with 1,000.
We'll see what they
units.
do with it. So
yeah, they're starting with 1,000 units, which is cool, right?
Yeah.
They say that it comes with 3 Type-C ports, which that's kind of cool.
I mean, yeah.
And an HDMI port, which will accommodate extra hardware, which is
searchlights, cameras, got LiDAR. I mean, okay. I mean that'd be good for navigation.
Sure, I could see its potential, but the price point, $1,550.
It does. Okay, here it does say also. Yeah, you can do a smartphone app board or control. But again, I wonder. I don't know. Yeah, it would just be something to check out. But
it also says here that it's capable of doing more than just backflips, and it can recognize human posture and faces, and it can follow the owner or other subjects, and it will respond to voice commands via 6 microphone array. Pretty cool. Okay, it's only got 128 gigabyte
CyberDog,
SSD, though.
Get me a water.
Oh,
roll
okay,
over,
yeah, toy
play
then.
dead.
Yeah, go get me a beer. That'd be kind of cool if you could actually come back with a beer. So it also apparently has GPS. It has touch sensors
yeah.
built in. They're saying, and it can go a speed of 7 miles an hour and packs some pretty decent stuff there. 7 miles an
7
hour.
miles an hour. Yeah, you're right.
It's not that great, but hey, man.
I mean, yeah, it's not
It's RoboCopy Dog of a lesser scale, right?
RoboCop dog.
RoboCopy Dog, not Cop Dog.
Ooh, RoboCopy dog.
You didn't hear what I said. That I said RoboCopy Dog.
Copy.
It's a copy of the original. So, yeah, a toy then. Cool, fair enough.
Yeah, but anyway, there you
go. We'll have to check it out. Maybe who knows? Maybe I'll get my hands on one. I don't know.
I mean, what if there's we should check and see if there's any like robotic shows. So we could go.
That might be
I know
very
the old
interesting.
engineering thing is.
Yep. Cool. Well, that one also came from New Atlas, by the way. So, hey, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Get a chance, like, subscribe, follow, let us know what we got right, what we got wrong. And if you think copying Spot from Boston Dynamics, if this is a direct copy or if you think we got it wrong, let us know because we'd be interested to hear from you guys. And that's pretty much what we got.
Woodwalkers. General, you talking like two bipedal robots, such as like, well, you're talking like ATSTs kind of thing? Or are you talking like just bipedal, like humanoid robots, human-like robots that because what's the one Boston Dynamics has, the human one? It's called
hold on. Boston Dynamics.
Quad or bipedal. Oh, either one. Well, we know that Boston Dynamics are well, a few companies already shown that the quad-legged robots can be quite quick, and they can support more mass, carry more mass because they just have more stability there, and they usually have a bigger platform. But would they need the ability to beat? Well, if you've seen some of the things that the bipedal Boston Dynamics robot can do,
he's
like
not available
upstairs, and he can do some pretty amazing stuff.
He's not available for sale yet because off their website they have Spot and they have Stretch, which is a different one, and then they have Pick. So the other guy, the bipedal one, I don't think is available yet. So maybe that.
I think he's only for like universities.
Atlas.
He's only for companies.
Yeah.
But the stuff this one can do, I mean, literally, like I said, it does parkour. I mean, it's not quite the same level as human parkour, but it's pretty interesting. Is there a video of him?
Which one?
Of him doing like obstacle courses. Let's see.
Oh, Atlas?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there is. It's actually on their website. It's right here. It's more parkour from Atlas as he does his. Let's see. He's doing his. Oh man. That's impressive.
It's what amazes me. It's very. The moves are really cool, but what amazes me is how fluid.
Yeah.
And I know it's still obviously a robot, but.
I mean, the way it mimics a see, I also get
like that hip movement,
hip
that's
flexor
and all that. It's got pretty.
See, my brain immediately goes to the movie Elysium. Or was that the one with where they have the spaceship disc and is it Elysium? That's the one where they have the armed robot force that comes after people, and then what's the other one? Oh God. Yes, very very impressive. What's the name of that movie? I'll remember it.
The one with Will Smith. That one?
No, that's iRobot.
Okay, not that one.
It's the one where he gets the brain implant in his head and he's being chased. It's gosh darn it! It's the guy from The Martian. I could.
Oh,
not Ben Affleck. The other one. The other one.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon. It's Matt Damon. Is it Elysium? Right. Matt Damon. Matt. Oh,
Elysium.
Elysium. I'm pretty sure it's.
Did I not see that movie?
Oh, I'm sure you've seen it. I'm pretty sure I've got the name of it down too.
There's robots in here? I don't know. I could just totally be.
Let's see. The Runner. Now I got to do the search for it again.
Matt Damon robots.
Did I get it? Elysium. Yes, that's the movie. So they've got those, and then the other one.
I guess I haven't seen it.
There's a couple other theirs. Yeah. iRobot, Chappie. Yeah, they've got them because
Oh yeah,
they're
yeah.
very similar in those designs. So when I look at them, I'm like, ooh, scary. Interestingly enough. The other one was when the aliens came along. Oh God! And the guy turns into an alien from the same guy that I think that did Elysium, which is from District 9. It was District 9. They
District
had
9.
the same robots in it as well. So, from the same design. Matter of fact, the
I mean-
way that Matt Damon's character gets irradiated is because he's making robots.
Yeah, but anyway, his question though: would
What?
walkers have commercial use over other vehicles in the next 20 years?
Oh, there was a question
And
there?
he's thinking, I think they would need the ability to climb or beat out tracks or tires. Walkers. So, speed-wise,
Yeah,
tracks
probably.
and tires over certain terrain, of course, win, right?
Mhm.
Because they do.
But
But
terrain. See, the thing about Spot that makes Spot so applicable to things is that he can get through a lot of different terrain.
yeah, it would be
So-
almost where you're.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
for
for sure.
commercial use there, I think you'd have to look at the sector, because there's already some use for Spot oil and gas survey inside some of the places they don't want to send people, like places that might not be low levels of oxygen, or it's pretty cramped or whatever. They would send him in there, and that works well because it's pretty surface. I'm talking like inside of like containers and stuff.
Right.
So that makes sense, and that would be, you could do tracks or tires, I guess, in a place like that. But if you're talking like exploring Mars, there are places where you couldn't go with tracks or tires because maybe boulders and things,
Mm-hmm.
where you could maybe envision a bipedal or quad type robot might have more mobility depending, but
Right. So let's just take a quick. Let's just
I
see
guess it
one thing
depends,
really
right?
quick because I want to take a look at this, because when you look at Spot, and you look at Spot as he's got his arm and what they basically are functioning parts of what they're adding to their
oh
to
yeah, the
lineup.
arm, yeah.
Right, because the arm does a lot of work there too,
Yep.
and for Spot, in order to utilize that, gives him the capability to suddenly pick things up and gives him
He
I
opens
would say
doors and stuff.
functionality
Yeah.
over a biped, because now all of a sudden he's got one arm, which makes him a more stable platform for things, right? So now the other thing that I noticed is that in the CyberDog that we're looking at, I don't think that there's any place right now to add any of those types of attachments, which gives them a negative, which puts them more in that toy category. But when we're talking about biped, quad, that arm for Spot gives it a huge advantage, I think.
It's
for
much more
stability.
stable than a
Yeah.
bipedal robot as far as keeping.
Yeah.
Especially if you're having Spot pull something that has mass,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be a more stable platform in general than Atlas,
Mm-hmm.
gravity and all that.
Wow.
So, but
and-
anyway, so
and here's some
for-
the additional parts you can get for Spot right now are the arm, the ports, inspection. So it's a cam. You can also get LiDAR, thermal. Like they've really well thought out the packages
Yeah.
that this thing's going to use. So
a lot of applications.
for sure.
And lastly, general saying here, range and speed are tough to beat traditional transportation. It is.
Yeah.
You know, when after the invention of the wheel does a lot of stuff, and the tracks solved a lot of other problems with terrain, but
And then
still had the
wings.
advantage of the wheel.
Then wings.
And then of course, so there's places to be improved on, but yeah, we've done pretty well with what we've got too.
There you go. All right. With that said, we've got to wrap it up. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. General, we appreciate all the
Yes,
comments.
thank you.
The chat's
Thank you.
fantastic. It's great to engage. We get you guys on and off different times, so it's fantastic. And again, like, subscribe, follow when you get a chance. And I just looked, we're up to 302 subscribers. So we
Excellent.
picked up 2 during the
Amazing.
show.
Amazing.
Thank you for the gentlemen
Thank
that have
you.
picked us up, or the
Thank you.
ladies, and thanks.
Cool.
So
Awesome.
hey, I've said my piece. You've said yours.
Yeah, I'm good. We're gonna do what we normally do. Bring you guys cool stuff about space and aviation and tech, and bring you what we have to say about it, and
There you go.
take you guys along. And we're glad to see you guys here with us on the channel. That's one of the advantages of our show. We try to cover a few different things to keep everybody's interest, and because we have a wide interest as well. But also, it's nice to see you guys, here on the live show. 'Cause, I mean, that's we get to interact with you guys.
There you go. Thank you so much. All right, everybody, take care. Have a great day. Thanks
Have a
for
good
the
one.
comments, and we'll see you real
See you
soon.
later.
Bye bye.
We'll see you tomorrow, actually.
Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. And it's instant music now. We get instant music. Oh, yeah.
Instant.
Thank you, Harris Heller, for supporting all the streamers out there. You're the best, man. That's, you know, yeah, I'm digging it now.
What,
This
the
one,
song?
I'm digging it better than the other one. For sure.
It's good.
All right, everybody. Take care. Have a great afternoon. We'll catch you real soon. Bye-bye.